So Beyoncé just released a hair care line that has the internet, mainly social media, going crazy. When she first announced the line, a lot of people were questioning her intention, saying that it was just another famous person cash grab attempt, and even some comments going so far as questioning why she even released a hair care line when she mostly wears wigs and weaves and rarely wears all her natural hair. And Cécred came out, and it was mainly introduced as a high-end care line that catered to all hair types and even included black scented style care, such as products for braids and chemically processed hair. And once again, social media was divided, with some people praising Beyoncé but not limiting herself to the oversaturated black hair care product market, to others still wondering why she chose a general hair care line, as opposed to something that relates to her brand or aesthetic more, such as a wig care line, or a protective style hair care line for natural hair. Natural hair in this case being afro and curly textured ethnic hair. A lot of influencers then began receiving, buying, and reviewing Cécred products, and the overall results were generally positive, but just okay. The product seems to be made responsibly, ethically, and does not contain all the bad things that have slowly been removing themselves from hair care in general. Think parabens, sulfates, and silicones. None of those. Also, based on social media reviews, and take this with a grain of salt, the products do actually seem to work well, with hair health being in the forefront. One of the main critiques, however, seems to be the product amount, with complaints being along the lines of the bottles being too small or the amount needed to be used, particularly in regards to black hair being not worth the pricing and obtainment factor. After all, Cécred is a luxury hair care line with all the prices that entails, and it's not exactly sold in your local retailer. I personally am more of a simple routine type girl myself. I have sensitive skin even on my scalp, so I stick to minimal products and the very basics. I'm talking about just shampooing or co-washing and a conditioner with a basic style product when I want to do certain styles such as twists or cornrows. I have mainly natural 4B to 4C type hair, so that's the range I'm in. I rarely do a lot with my natural hair, and I found affordable products that work for me, so Cécred is not something I will be personally reviewing unless it maybe does become more widespread, like sold in person at the store, but that is unlikely, seeing that's how it is Beyoncé we're talking about here. However, I feel like Beyoncé's hair care line is a great discussion starter, not on celebrity cash grabs or product marketability, though those are important topics too, but on black hair in society. Beyoncé's hair care line, with all the controversy and mixed feelings around it, really speaks to a larger issue we as a society have, particularly when it comes to black hair and what is acceptable. Personally, I feel there has been so much ingrained hatred and prejudice around black hair. On a broader societal level, black hair, despite the steps taken to combat school and workplace discrimination, still faces a lot of hate and prejudice in terms of wear. This means that oftentimes black hair is only deemed as acceptable if it is worn in a certain way, protective styling, slick back, or even just straightened with heat. Similarly, a lot of texturism exists, with people with looser curl patterns being praised for wearing their hair curly, while people with tighter curl patterns being shamed overtly or covertly for wearing their hair open, such as in an afro or just without any extreme styling or hair accessories. Why is it acceptable for one person to wear curly hair if it drops in ringlets around their shoulders, but it's distracting and unkept if it raises as a halo around their head? Why are curls more acceptable if it wraps around a pencil or falls in waves, but unkept and unhygienic if it coils and puffs? We as a society need to talk about that. Also, on an individual level, black hair faces a lot of internal prejudice, with a lot of people of color complaining about how they hate their hair, or even that it takes too long to do, making it a hindrance to daily life. There are groups of naturals that talk about heat training their hair, which is wearing it straight 70 to 90% of the time, and other groups which still chemically straighten their hair, despite the health risks, because they want to be more presentable in the work field, they want shorter times devoted to hairstyling, or even that they've never been taught how to care for their hair in its natural state. This is not to shame these people, but also to say that black hair has had a long, complicated history of discrimination and obstacles, that there are even people today born with black hair saying black hair is not for them. Really think about that. Now we have Beyoncé, a black artist, releasing a hair care line that kind of caters to, but is not exclusively for black or ethnic hair types and textures. And this too represents how society currently is. You'll get a place at the table and representation if you're lucky, but the real audience are those quote-unquote on top. And this is not an evil white people sort of point, but more than realistic, we are still facing the effects of colonialism, white privilege, and other discriminations even today sort of point. Black hair is okay as long as it is not the focus, but it's unfair somehow to pigeonhole Beyoncé, a non-white woman, into a non-white hair care line. And again, I know hair textures vary among the white population, but this is speaking in general terms of white hair versus ethnic, namely black hair. So I want to know your opinions on this topic, as there's just a lot to talk about. What are your feelings behind Cécred? Do you have any experience with ethnic and black hair care, and how has that been like? How can we as a society do more to combat problems such as internal hair hate, black hair discrimination outside in society in general, and this recent black hair care market that is a double-edged sword because it's mainly about profit at the end of the day? Let me know in the comments your thoughts and opinions, and please keep things respectful. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.